Hey everyone, it's Beth. Welcome to my messy studio. As you see, I'm in my new studio again, and so I'm just gonna be back and forth, moving and recreating a new space. So I'm so excited about that. So today is Friday, April 3rd, Good Friday, and it could be a really creative day for some people. Like, if you're not working or if you are working, I mean, if you have a regular job and today's a day off, you could be tempted to do a bunch of not errands because things aren't open, but like projects, home projects and stuff like that. So how can you resist that and have a creative day, if not today, one of these days, and finding a little space for yourself to make art. And if you are an artist, then it may feel like you have this like free weekend to do your thing without any interruptions with email or stuff like that. Like, I just find holidays are really good for focus. And but let's see what the cards say. Let's go. So I gave him a really good shuffle, so just so you know. Okay, Ace of Voices, Page of Pentacles, and Three of Voices. All right, so this is very interesting. I mean, the Three of Voices is all about heartache and betrayal and a broken heart. So there is like, that's the third one I picked. And so it's always surprising me when I'm doing these readings in the past couple of weeks. They've been on the heavy side. I think the cards haven't they haven't shown this light side really of creativity yet. And but I think that's really important. And I think, like, what I feel is that is what holds a lot of people back from really deeply going into art making. Like, anyone can, well, not anyone, but almost anyone can copy a photograph if they take enough time to do it, or like do something like color in a coloring book or whatever, like do or copy something off Instagram that they really like. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but they are surface level art. And going deeper and really, like, digging into who you are, like who is the person making the art, like, then you're digging into deep territory. And often, well, no, always, not just often, always, you are going to encounter your own darkness, your own grief, your own mistakes, just your own shit. Like, you're going to encounter your own shit. And even I'm thinking back to Matisse. I've read a number of his biographies, and I love this artist, and I love his work, and I love his life. And he had such a difficult life, and he had so many difficult, dark experiences, like just hell. Like, he had a hell life. And so, in kind of mid-career, I he was quoted in saying, and he was rejected all the way through, up until, when he was old, he wasn't rejected anymore, but he was made fun of, he was rejected. I mean, the word fauvist, which means wild beast, which he was, named a fauvist, um like, that was an insult. Like, people were insulting him like crazy, and he persevered. And despite being rejected, constantly rejected, he persevered. And I found a lot of strength in his story. And yeah, I'm rambling, I know, but what I'm trying to say is that at was kind of mid-career, maybe in his 30s or something, he was quoted in saying that art should make people feel like they're sitting in a soft, comfy chair. And he is something like that. And of course people, the younger generation was shocked, like, how dare he? And Picasso, who was a twat, like, he was like, no, art should be, serious and about serious war and things like that. Meanwhile, he's just a spoiled, abusive brat, where Matisse had never had the feeling of a comfy chair. Like, his whole life was struggle and poverty. Well, not his whole life. I mean, later on he was good, but the first half of his life was struggle and poverty and misery. And so art to him, like that comfy chair to him, was the most healing thing he could think of. Like, I want art to heal people that live their lives in squalor and trauma. Like, basically that's what he was saying. And so people misinterpret that to say that he was fluffy, or just kind of colorful and fluffy and not very serious. But really, he was like the most serious artist out there. And he needed that. He needed art to be healing. And so now we have language for that now, but he was inventing the language. So anyway, back to that's what this reading is inspiring me to say. So the first card we have is the Ace of Voices. So this is like having, I should hold this up a little longer. Ace of Voices. This is like having an epiphany. Like really, like, yesterday we were talking about like those major arcanas that all showed up in the reading. And with the moon void, of course, it felt like this day that maybe we should just like rest and be in ourselves and dream, and just like maybe even take a day off. And for me it was setting up my studio and arranging my flowers and things like that, like just like sort of creating beauty around me so that I can get up in the morning and go. And so there's epiphanies come from just having a day of yourself, of setting up your space, cleaning your studio, resting, getting an acupuncture treatment, which is what I did by the fabulous Kaylee Ennis. And so I think that we have this we have a duty to take care of ourselves and rest and let the universal forces do their thing. And then we may get gifted with an epiphany. And then we have another kind of new energy, and that's the Page of Materials. And I love this one of the Page of Materials. I mean, the Muse Tarot doesn't really, like, the cards don't always explain, like they're very like simple and not always easy to interpret. But to me, there's this this woman in a kind of communing with the rose, like becoming the rose, becoming like she's like soaking up the rose energy and learning about what it is like to be a rose. And from an artist's point of view, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're not just like our subject, the further away in the distance of our being our subject is, like if we're looking at as this object, separate from us, then we will, our art will show that it'll always be separate. And so becoming one with our subject, becoming infused, like with the essence, infused with the essence of our subject as a like learning what a rose is for the first time. And I even though we've seen a rose a million times, and this may have also been a quote from Matisse. It was a quote from someone, an artist. Like you have to draw or paint a rose um like you've never seen one before, and you kind of, so that you are really like being one with this subject. And I'm talking about artists right now, but I hear musicians and I hear writers talking about this as well. Like they embody their characters and they become their characters, or whatever kind of writer or musician you are, whatever kind of artist you are, there's a merging with your subject in order to understand it. So it's not this distant thing, it's this thing inherently and understand. And that takes years. What do they call that thing? The 10,000 hours or something like that, to master something. I can't remember. But I mean, for any kind of artist, it's the merging that is part of that work, not just pencil hours. And then coming to the last thing again, like we said, that deep sadness, and the encounter of the deep sadness and grief that and the betrayals, like, the older you get, the more you have that as your history. And we can't deny it. It has to be part of it. It has to be part of our work. And that adds the lasting depth. And that is why I think Matisse is, like he's still one of the most famous artists in the world, is because his he lived so much grief and betrayal, and just fought for scraps for so long. And not that we should romanticize that or glamorize it or anything, but it's just the truth and part of our lives. Like it's the struggle that creates the beauty. And if you're avoiding struggle or difficulty, or like our culture is like pushing this sort of comfort, like surface comfort life. And it's not good. It's not good for artists. And that's why artists are seen as, always have been and still are seen as, subversive, because they get into the deep stuff, and we need that. So I'm just going to draw one more card because, like I said, I can ramble. Oh my God, again, no, this is crazy. There. That's your message one more time. This is the third time. You are light. Oh my God. I mean, I love it. It was my sort of deck card, and it sounds like it's becoming yours too, which is cool. The light that vibrates from the core of your being. Be careful not to opaque your light so that others are comfortable. Hiding your power, not wanting to be seen, fear of judgment causing you to contract, and fear of judgment causing you to make art that isn't authentic. Like that's it right there. So there we go. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming to my messy studio today. And again, my name is Beth. And if you could like, comment, or subscribe, that would be great, because it just, keeps it going and makes me know that people are enjoying what I'm doing. So have a good day. Have a great Easter. Well, I'll be doing this on the weekend too. So talk to you soon.